And first of all, do you always do SWPL as a whole group?
Yes,
in
I
your
do.
Classroom? Okay.
Yes. So I always do SWPL as a whole group because the type of class that I have, children learn best from not only me but from peers too. So when I do SWPL as a whole group, it is like everyone is there and learning from me and peers. And also, I think that the children really like to be around peers and singing songs and poems, because that is a time when some of our songs and poems are, silly. So like so basically, doing as a whole group, we're all just sitting on the rug and having fun while learning.
That's great, and that actually goes a little bit towards the second question. Which was about the engagement piece again, sort of what systems or what structures you use to keep the children engaged during SWPL. So
during SWPL, I tend to get a little silly too. So I think that if I am being silly and hyping like the songs and poems up, then kids are like, oh, like this is fun and awesome, and then like we all are just there and having fun and singing songs and poems.
That's great.
It's really fun.
Awesome, thank you. And we can totally see that in the example actually on the video that you did for us. That's great. And the last question has to do with just transitioning out of SWPL. SWPL is finished, and how do you sort of transition into the next component, which in this case was intro to centers that you were doing upstairs. Is there anything that you could just sort of mention, or any tips that you might have for somebody in terms of that transition from SWPL to the next?
Usually SWPL is done towards like around lunchtime or after lunch and nap. And there are times when I do SWPL and I will use some of the things that we've done as a way to call on friends to go and line up. So for instance, a lot of the activities that we do in SWPL is about rhyming. So if I want the students to then go to line up, I will make it fun, and I will say that so for instance, I have a child in my class named Gus. And if I want him to go and line up, I would say, if your name rhymes with bus, and then everyone gets all silly and say Gus, and then Gus goes to line up. And another example that I just did a few days ago was one of the SWPL activities is with a puppet that we call Mr. Mix-Up. And Mr. Mix-Up mixes everything up. And there are times when Mr. Mix-Up will then mix up friends' names. So then I will call on friends to go and line up. And then Mr. Mix-Up will accidentally call that friend a different name, and then that also gets the kids going and laughing. So times when I want to move from SWPL to a different activity, I will use some of the things that we've done as a way to move on and to a different activity.
That's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Again,
Thank
for
you.
Your time and everything this morning.
Thank you.